Jamaica, the pearl of the Caribbean, on the Bridge 99 FM. That station crafted with care to bring together the spirit and the activity, the levity of the Jamaican people, the Jamaican soul everywhere in the world. Thank you for joining us. This is The Public Eye. Thanks for being with us as we link with Irie Jam Radio in New York a little bit later, as we speak with Dr. Floyd Morris, well-known retired president of the Jamaican Senate, member of that body still, and opposition spokesperson on housing. And later on, a man that is curious but so significant. Otis James is the founder of James and Friends, a body in Clarendon that just makes sure that children in need have a decent education. You'll hear much more. We lift the spirits. We talk the issues of gladness, of difficulty in our land. We talk it straight. No scandal, no gossip. Yes, every critical thought expressed with the hope that we can all do better. The Honourable Pernell Charles is seated. Good day, sir.
Morning, Dr. Ronnie.
I'm happy to be with you.
Yes, and I see you're blurring fresh this morning. Cheeks are up.
Yeah, and I'm wearing this horrible colonial invention, a tie.
Is it really a colonial invention?
Is what then? Is what? If not,
I'm anti-colonial then.
You should be. Courthouse demands it, as did the highest court of the land that you and I used to preside over, and I used to sit on the back bench.
Yes.
Well, there you are. So we have to get. There's nothing wrong with it, but
I think that it's
antiquated.
I think we need to adopt some of the things at our own. I mean, why? Because somebody else is doing it. We are going to say they were doing it first, and if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
If it satisfies me, I wear the shirt jack.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And at one time, I would not have worn it to Parliament.
Yeah.
Because it was a political decision taken by a party or a government then.
Sure, but sensible decision.
But so why am I wearing it every day? You know?
Well, no, I mean, okay.
It's comfortable as far as I'm concerned.
Sure, well, and a tie is not.
Yeah. No.
A tie is a simulated noose. Around your neck.
Easy to hang you if you.
Well, this is the whole point. Now, from time to time, I wear something called that is derogatively called a dog collar, which is a clerical collar.
Yes.
And that's also a very traditional thing. Now, I have nothing wrong with ceremonial dress.
Yes.
But where it becomes so rigid that you are untidy unless you wear it, then I think that is utterly rigid. Provided that you don't go to the other extreme where you take, you dress in a way that offends other people,
yes,
and you say, I don't care because I choose.
Well, to me, even if it is your feeling, you have to examine the public.
Yeah.
You have to examine what is a national feeling towards a thing. You know, I don't
really?
Ronnie, I don't eat pork. I've never ate pork and drink coffee and all these things. But it was a religious thing.
Yes.
My parents practiced,
which I respect.
And I enjoy it.
Yes.
The lady cooked me some callaloo, and obviously I thought it was
some pork in it.
No, but I thought it was goat kidney.
Okay.
And I enjoy it. And the day I wasn't feeling too well, so I went to ask what it is. She said, "Oh, you had some pig kidney and callaloo."
Oh, I see, Lord, you nearly died.
No, that's sure, you know, it's a psychological thing now.
Sure, you immediately.
Because it moved from...
Yes, religious.
and it now say to me, you better get that thing out your stomach.
Which you did, I'm sure. You know. But hear me now. This is the thing is this. You made a point that I want to pick up on. What you said is that in things like dress, deportment, diet, one must have a feeling for and a respect for society's ethos.
That's a key word. That's a national understanding that you may feel a way, but then you have also a responsibility to look at the national feeling.
But understand the depth of what Mr. Charles is saying.
Yes.
Because what you're saying is that there is something called the common good.
That's correct.
No, but then you see, so this is, of course, I agree with you. But that is what is missing in so much of our discourse and in so much of the, if you wish, the ethos of the current age, and it is holding us back as a country because so many of us believe that when a business about any common good, if I itch, I must scratch. If I feel to come into Parliament in my swimsuit and go to court in my bikini, that's okay.
Yes. No, when you feel that way, you are disrespecting the national feeling or even your colleagues.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are certain things that.
So why should I dress in a way that is uncomfortable to my colleagues?
Exactly.
Yeah. If I respect them,
then
my self-respect will
allow you to deny yourself of something because the national feeling. And you know, Ronnie, I'm very proud to tell you this. I have been a trade unionist for 41 years, and I have gone to several rum bars. And I have never ordered a bottle of rum for the workers who want it. Yeah. I have never ever participated in a taste of that. Well, you know, until they decide, Mr. Charles, what is for you? And they bawl out, ting for him, sir, ting. The point is, they respect the fact that.
Sure.
And I respect the fact that they want rum, so I buy it for them.
Okay. Provided it's not going to harm them too much of it or whatever. But I used to, just to give you a codicil, I couldn't drink the white rum either, so I used to have cream soda because it favored white rum.
Well, they would. You had an excuse.
I had an excuse. I had a pretense.
So they used to say, "Oh, Mr. Charles, man, Mr. Charles is the ting man."
Ting man.
You know,
ting being that wonderful grapefruit drink.
That's right.
Yes. I wanted to engage you on something semi-personal. I noticed your daughter, the Member of Parliament for St. Thomas East.
Yes.
Speaking in Parliament.
Yes.
And I wanted to express sympathy with her because she is her persona, her activity is strongly circumscribed by some public works that is going on.
Yes,
that is causing real rupture for people's convenience.
Yes.
I heard her call.
Including me.
Well, there you are.
It takes me 3 times sometimes.
Yeah. This is the road repair from Kingston to St. Thomas.
There, yes.
Now, a number of questions. Why did it have to be this way? And secondly, what does it say of the representative role? That she has to get up in Parliament and say, look, the contractors who aren't doing, in her opinion, and many people's opinion, doing the work well, should be removed. Yes? Yeah, and thirdly, what is the prospect that happens?
Well, let's go a little further.
Oh.
She first reported the matter to the Prime Minister and then to the Minister of Roads.
And what them do?
The Prime Minister has called in the contractors to Kingston, had a discussion with them, and they made certain promises to him. The Minister of Roads have done the same thing and has gone to tour.
Right.
A lot of workers in the constituency, albeit it took on a political flavor. So the PNP candidate led, I understand, was there, so they say she who led it. Okay. Be that as it may. As far as I am concerned, I'm glad I wasn't there because I could not oppose the workers, whether they were PNP or JLP, saying this can't go on.
Well,
so I was very proud. To be honest with you, I had nothing to do with it. When I heard my daughter in Parliament saying, we must change those subcontractors, not the contractor.
Right.
The contractor is...
No, but the contractor is responsible for the subcontractor,
exactly.
Sir. Yes.
And to be honest with you...
And government responds for the contractor.
I call her and I say, you know, some people are going to say that you're like me, but you're way above me.
You and I know, having been representatives, how futile that kind of cry can be.
Because
the same contractor dip on the road and I mix it up and mash it up again this morning.
I tell you better than that.
After the Prime Minister, after the Minister of Works, and after she stand up in Parliament.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, let's go a little further, because the point is that I don't think the public knew that the Prime Minister had intervened. Or that the Minister himself had tore and intervened.
So what was the outcome of the intervention?
Ronnie, to be honest with you, I said to my daughter...
We knew to ourselves.
I said to her...
We take all the blame.
I said to her...
And have no power.
Say to the people...
Yes.
I prefer... When they had the demonstration, I say you should prefer to negotiate than demonstrate.
Yes.
However, the point is... Do you know what it meant to a little child who knew they were going to go to school? The first day?
Yes, sir.
And they came and had to go back home?
You have a heart.
That. And I said, we're not in the demonstration. But the negotiation don't help.
But then...
she's out there giving a weekly report. And to me, I went there the day before yesterday, Ronnie, to a funeral.
Yeah.
I was late an hour. And I left Kingston 2 hours before.
Now hear me, Mr. Charles. What is this saying about our system of governance in Jamaica? What is it saying about our principles as Jamaicans? Because I agree with you. It is better to negotiate than to demonstrate.
Yes.
But when you have the negotiation at the level of the Prime Minister, at the level of the Minister,
and the Member of Parliament,
and the Member of Parliament weekly, and nothing happened.
Nothing go on.
Yes, everybody just long out the tongue at you. And go and who for carry on them work or them non-work. Go on, so getting the money that the people are paying, but not delivering the quality of service that they should. What are we doing to ourselves? What kind of foolishness is that, sir?
I know somebody's going to say, Mr. Charles, you're sure it's not you who encouraged your daughter to say that? Let me tell you plain. I would not have.
No, but
based on my experience, I would not have. But I am proud that she has done it.
She stand up for her people. What else must
she
her
stand up for her people, and
the
the people in St. Thomas will be happy to know that they're member of Parliament. Ronnie,
but they should.
I was in a funeral on Saturday, and there was a woman with a towel wiping the dust off the chairs.
Yeah. So what? So look, sir, you happy that she stand up for her people. All representatives should do that. All
nervous though I mean.
Naturally, you're a father. But then we're supposed to be annoyed and distressed and open to change when in fact, after you stand up, after you're given the responsibility, after a member of Parliament, as you and I know very well, take all of the blame.
Yes.
Yes. And you cannot do one thing to help the people.
Well, let me tell you something. How
that go?
They're not going to be any one-side demonstration, no. It's not going to be PNP against JLP and contractors.
Everybody.
Because with the standard she has taken, and with the Prime Minister and the Minister's involvement in trying to get the thing done right, I think that the major contractor has got to have to come.
No.
The major contractor has got to have to answer this situation.
It's too roundabout and it's too delayed and it's too circumstantial when these things. Look here, if you give me the authority and you're going to hold me accountable, you must give me the power to deal with what is necessary. And where you have the power, you must be responsive immediately. And it is a travesty that a contractor, I don't know who they are, and I'm not blaming any particular one, that they should be getting the people's money, but be able, to ignore the concerns of the people's representatives, even at the highest level. That is no way to govern a country.
Well, let us say you're just reading that page, because that's exactly how I feel, and I want to congratulate her, but I want to say to her, I'm going to stand behind you and with you because the pressure is going to come down.
Well, this is it. But then that takes us to another issue, which is current in Jamaica today. Because remember, on the public eye, what we do is deal with the public issues, particularly for the diaspora audience, that is our major constituency listening to us. And that is the issue of the question of land. And we bring in Dr. Floyd Morris, the redoubtable senator and spokesman on housing for the People's National Party, retired President of the Jamaican Senate. Floyd, greetings.
But is he still a member, though?
Of course.
Yes, so retired president,
Indeed.
but still a member of the Senate.
Floyd, are you there?
Yes, Ronnie. Good afternoon, Turner.
Afternoon to you both. To you.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I noticed that you'd like to have every poor man get in a house.
Absolutely. I mean, any way thinking to bacon.
But I mean, are you going to be able to tell us what formula you and your government, if you have one, could do to improve what was not done when Ronnie Twait was in charge of the housing situation?
No, I was never in charge. I'll tell you what to do when Floyd is finished.
Well, you were with Mr. Buchanan, weren't you?
No, I was. You mean I was a member of Parliament at the time? Yes.
Oh, okay. No, but the truth is, let not say any question I ask would give the impression that I am opposed to or not trying desperate to get people who don't have a house to get a house.
No,
and get it in a place where they can survive.
Certainly, but then it's so unfortunate, isn't it, Floyd Morris, that Mrs. Holness, somebody of her pedigree, a person who carries the title of Most Honourable, should have politicized the issue of squatting and the relief of squatting in the way that she did. Floyd, over to you.
Well, I mean, and thank you very much, Ronnie and Pernell, for inviting me on your program. And chiming on what Ronnie just said, because it is indeed most unfortunate, because we know the historical antecedents of land and squatting in Jamaica dating back to 1838. That is why Ronnie's cousin was hanged because he stood up and fought for the deplorable conditions that Jamaicans were facing after slavery. And they, from then, have been living on marginal and fringe land, you know, and any government, and especially governments of today that are formulated out of the black market, must ensure that they restore the breach, restore the wrong that was done to the black population after slavery was abolished. They got no compensation. It is the planter class that was compensated, and because of that, today we have over 600,000 Jamaica estimated to be squatting on lands that are owned by the Crown and by a private individual. And that must be corrected both ways. And the member of Parliament must understand the history of the country where these things are concerned, because it was not the PNP, and I would never say that is the JLP that put anybody to live in these areas. People end up living there because this is what they have been able to afford. And what the PNP has done over the years as a response to dealing with the problem is to make sure that wherever there are lands that are available, they move in and work with the people through Operation Pride, through inner-city renewal development, to improve the conditions and to make the people, the living conditions of the people more habitable.
1 minute, Floyd Morris. I really want to ask us, come now, let's be sensible. When Backer Wall was cleared during Mr. Siaga's time, is him put them on Riverton City and out at White Mall?
Roddy, let me answer that.
Come on, that's nonsense.
Let me answer that.
Why do we have to politicize what is a grievous social concern?
I have a question for Floyd about housing trust. I heard him the other night. And I'm going to come back to you. Floyd, many of us contribute to housing trust.
Yes.
If I'm wrong, tell me. You said that the housing trust was established particularly to give poor people houses.
No.
Does that mean that all who contribute to the housing trust is not entitled? Hold on a minute, let's listen to the point. Is not entitled to all the benefits that anybody get from housing trust?
I never said that, because NHT was established to provide affordable housing for the contributors to the scheme.
Hold on, Floyd. I am in full agreement with what you have just said. You did not say that the other night. You said it was to give poor people houses. And it is not true that it wasn't to give poor people houses, but it was to give the contributors that were poor. In other words, when the Prime Minister is saying a house is now for 14 million or 16 million, and he said the people can't get it. Why? If the people contribute to the housing trust and those houses were built at that level, why couldn't they get that? Because you're billing for 3, 8, 9, 14 to the contributors who don't have a house.
But you don't. You don't bill for them.
Eh?
You do not bill for them. Go ahead,
You
Floyd.
do not bill for who?
For the lower income.
No, Ronnie, you don't say that.
I am saying that.
But hold on, Floyd. Hold on.
Disproportionately.
Both PNP government and JLP government.
Scandalously few. By comparison, we need 20,000 housing solutions a year, and we never do that. And 2/3 of the people who contribute to the housing trust cannot qualify for a benefit.
So 20,000 houses cannot satisfy the demand of poor people for houses. Cannot satisfy, and that is why some people have to go out.
A year.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Floyd.
Here's the conundrum that we face. Because the NHT makes available to each contributor $6.5 million. It is costing, based on what I have seen in the market, between $9.5 to $10 million for the starting price of a 600 square feet unit for an individual on the market. So the individual is at a deficit at about 3.5 unless he or she joins with somebody else.
Yes.
To get the total amount. But what I find often, and I find it egregious, is that when government, whether it be the Prime Minister or the Minister of Housing, whoever is responsible for housing at the time, goes to Parliament and makes an announcement that NHC is going to be giving each contributor $6.5 million
But
to the house.
no.
You can tell us Byron that the next week, all of that money, you're going to see the developers increase the price of the houses to $10 million, and that is why we are having this problem in terms of individuals getting access to the houses.
Yeah, but it goes further than that. Floyd, clarify something for me. Because 6.5 million is available to those contributors who qualify. When I was a member of Parliament in Central Kingston, Purnell, I had a real moral dilemma. Because I wasn't sure how to tell whether people if to tell them that they should contribute to the housing trust. I know the law, yes, but I knew that the vast majority of them on minimum wage or casual workers, vendors on the street, yes, that they could drop housing trusts until they dropped. And they would never get any 6.5 or anything because they couldn't qualify.
Let me disturb you by joining with you.
Yes.
Some of our people who need houses today, both whether they are non-PNP, non-JLP, or nobody, hold on, they cannot pay a mortgage of $20 a week.
Yes, so I have a suggestion.
Even if you bring it down to to 4.
So what they must do? Eat cake?
No, hold on.
So when they go and settle, wherever they settle, whether it is Bedward people at down in Bedward Gardens or the people at Riverton City, who Mr. Siaga, I don't blame for putting you in there. How dare you say that it is one party or the other who set them to live there and therefore to create them as if they are some kind of lepers?
No. That's wrong. You are looking at me.
Yeah.
You're looking at me and you're pointing at me.
No, please excuse me.
No, but let me just say this to you. Let me make my position very clear.
Yes, sir.
Housing, as far as I'm concerned, is not a political issue.
Thank you.
PNP and JLP and no Peter. In fact, some of those people who run and live in Riverbed, You think they're going to Joan?
Well, this is it.
They're going to, because that is where they see nobody bother them when they're putting up the
Floyd,
house.
that is what what you're saying too.
Hold on, no. and until the rain come, until the rain come, and start to wash them away and then ball out for government help, right? Nobody can say that they didn't. So everybody who wants a house, Ronnie, answer this question before going back to it. Can everybody get a house in Jamaica?
I think so. Let me.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know where you're going to make them live. Floyd Morris, please hold on. We need a station break. When we come back, we'll continue this important interview with the opposition spokesman on housing, Senator Floyd Morris, and the Honourable Pernell Childs, veteran minister and concerned citizen. Soon come. The electric subject of housing for all the people is the subject on the public eye on the Bridge 99 FM in Jamaica, linking with Ira Jam in New York City for the tri-state area, talking to Jamaicans all over, touching the soul, the basic need of human society. Senator Floyd Morris, the opposition spokesman on housing, and the Honourable Pernell Childs, man with extraordinary governmental experience over his years in public life. Pernell Childs asked a question before we broke. Can every Jamaican get a house? Every Jamaican can get somewhere appropriate to lay his head. He may not be able to own it. Should.
Every Jamaican. And that is what they expect of government, whichever is.
Floyd Morris, almost 3/4 million Jamaicans living as squatters. The housing trust pack up of money, so full up of money that successive governments, with all kinds of justification or lack thereof, can take it for the consolidated fund and the poor people out the door and have nowhere to go. What is the justice in that, sir?
And I agree with you. Rani. And these are the things that cause tension in our society, because when people see that they make their contribution to an institution like the NHC, and they can't access the benefits, but government is able to take their money at will, then, you cause some problems. But I tell you, Ronnie, the Colonel asked the question if every person in Jamaica should get a house. If that is their desire, why not? This society is one in which individuals live and they desire to achieve certain things in life. The Prime Minister himself said, that every man out of fire feeling own them house on the hill. And not everybody will on the hill.
Floyd, let me say this to you. When I ask you if everybody in Jamaica should get a house, I'm not saying if everybody in Jamaica is not desirous of getting a house. Everybody in Jamaica is getting food. Are they getting food? Everybody in Jamaica is getting education. Are they getting education?
So
in other words, let us be fact. There are some of us who are not going to get a house.
So where we must live, sir? We must just dead?
No.
We must go Maypen Cemetery?
Hold on. There's a difference between National Housing Trust giving you a house.
Yeah, I'm not talking about giving anybody except the very poor,
except who?
Except the very, very poor.
No. It is the government.
Sure.
And must come to me and you.
Yes, sir.
And get some of our money.
They give me back my money that I contribute to the housing trust because I don't need it. I don't need it. So, I could have get if they said to me, look here, we are going to take this and we're going to build rent house for people who don't have an income, can't qualify for a mortgage. Yes, but they can pay a rent. They mustn't live free.
So that we don't waste the time.
I want rent house.
So that's a waste of time. What you have just said, you have said it for the both of us.
Thank you.
We are saying that the housing trust has a lot of money of people who have died.
Yes, sir.
Of people who don't want it back.
Yes, sir. They could have put
and I have not,
0.5% on my contribution.
Parish council,
yes, sir.
churches,
True.
and government have lands and lands and land put down.
Most of all, King Charles. King Charles, not you. Floyd.
I don't know why you're taking it. Why are you insulting
Taking your name in vain. King Charles III have more land in Jamaica. Why not take some land that government owns? Government don't even know how much land they own. I can tell you. You know. And what they do. One of the best schemes that I ever came across in my long life is the Sites and Services scheme, instituted by the late Anthony Michael Spaulding. Nannyville, De La Vega are examples of that. Corville. And what you do is you mark out basic units, you post and panel, that's all you do, and you say to a person, you settle here on the following terms. Yes? You leave them, they will fix up their unit. And what you do is to insist that they pay a minimum amount or whatever the amount is for that. No moral hazard, no freeness. Yes? Wherever a person is working, but you give them the opportunity. And if they scorn you and say, no, I'm not going to settle there. I insist that I am going to occupy Water Commission land on top of whichever of Beverly Hills. Then is the time that you can demolish.
Well, let me quite correct you on one thing.
Yeah.
When Tavares and I think Wilton Hill were Minister of Housing.
Wilton Gardens.
Listen to what they did.
Yes.
They built one room and a base.
Yes, sir.
For another room on market. Mm-hmm. So you get one room, and guess what, Ronnie? When they put them in the one room, man start to get 40 blocks and put on 40 blocks.
But
100 blocks and put on.
So hold on.
Tell him to that policy has changed.
Righteous.
And the PNP and JLP government. We don't have that.
Spaulding did the right thing, along with those others following. Floyd Morris, can this be a workable policy, do you think? Can we use the housing trust and blend private money to do that?
Let me tell you, Ronnie, Jamaicans are very ambitious individuals. And if you give them a start, you will be to see how they take it and run with it.
Yes.
I have it all over the country where the individuals a bedroom and over time, they just build on it.
Sure.
I'm with people who, go on farm work. They go on the hotel workers program. They would know it very well because farm workers, they come back, and as they come back, they tell your boss, I'm going to build a one room. And they just add on to the room that they have. Until you see something looking like a mansion and you say, but they are poor people. But it is indeed poor people who have ambition and have standing on the base that has been provided to them. And I am saying that any future PLP administration, and if it is that I am responsible for housing, that is the sort of formulation that you are going to see, because there has to be multiple approaches. There has to be approaches that involve the NHC, the private sector, at the different levels of the market. There has to be social housing that is provided, which is going to involve the church and the other civil society groups to make sure that we mobilize the community. You know that John Brown is in the community, and John Brown is living in a deplorable condition. Yes. And the church or the civil society will come to a government agency and say that this is the situation. How can we get some assistance? We must be able to mobilize those resources to at least give the person a one-bedroom with a bathroom on it to start. And you have pointed to some sources of funding in terms of the NHC and money. Is that the first me hear you talk about it? You have spoken about it in other forums that I have been, right? And I am saying these are some of the things that I will be pushing for in terms of dealing with the housing crisis that we are having in our country.
Floyd, let me say this. If we come to the position where an institution like the Housing Trust, and that alone cannot do it.
No.
They cannot do it alone.
They can lead it.
Of course they can lead, because they have a base money.
Sure.
A collection.
Every year.
And if the government comes to me and said, I'm going to put on an emergency tax.
Yes, sir.
Of X percent.
Take a 0.5% more of the housing on the housing trust amount. bound
Leave the house just alone can't do it.
No.
Because, Ronnie, look, your pet project.
Yeah.
If the government is able to say to the people in St. James,
Yeah.
in Westmoreland,
Yeah.
in St. Thomas,
Right.
that we are coming up with a project where we're going to put 500 houses in each. We are only going to build one room and a base
Side
for a kitchen
services.
and another one.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, when I'm saying to the auntie in Miami,
Yeah, gone.
they say, Mommy, I
Build up.
want 100 blocks.
Yeah,
They get it.
sure.
But guess what it does? It starts to put the children in an organized way how they can go to school.
No, so it start to build.
Education.
Dr. Morris, it start to build family. It start to give social cohesion and build community and deal with crime rather than order more tanks and bullets. What you need to do is you will need some of those, but you need this kind of social program. And when you start and embed it in political division to say JLP are the ones taking care of you because see, we give you a couple of pretty houses and make you think that everybody going to get it, and you know that is lie. And when you're blaming other people at the same time who have the same intention and who you cannot do without to solve the problem, you are making it worse, not better, while the people sleep out the door and you have more crime. What kind of condign folly is that, sir? I vex.
Yes, but hold on.
Coming from intelligent people who name most honorable.
In your vexation, let me tell you one right in the yard. I went down to Central Kingston. And I saw a whole lot of old houses.
Yes, sir.
Big houses.
Yes, sir.
And people live in them.
Yes, sir.
And they say enough for them house.
No.
Them hope nobody not going to take it away.
Yes. So what I've been trying to do is to get the people there to either be able to purchase it at a limited price because the house very little value, or to claim it under law, not outside of law. Under law, yes. And if you know the difficulties were happening, I had to speak to the minister in charge, Mr. Hill, over the weekend, because the governmental system, the whole, Floyd Morris began with this, the whole system of land law and land titling in this country is not made for people like you, Mr. Charles, and for people like live in Central Kingston. It's made for people like me. We don't understand this systemic approach.
Hold on, let me just say this to you. I try to catch up with you so that it's not for you alone.
Floyd, help us out now.
But the spirit of what you're saying must be understood.
Yeah.
To mean there are some poor people in this country who will never, ever have $1,000 or $5,000 to start a house. Yeah. Or to send their children to school. Or to get water.
But they must pay $1,000.
No, hold on. They come under the crown.
Sure.
I'm not talking British crown. They come under the management of our country, our governance, our parliament.
And the worst thing you can do is make PNP and JLP start fight about it. Floyd, help us.
Worst thing could ever happen.
Rather, just pointed you to an example in your former constituency about housing, and you pointed out that people went in and took control of those houses because those houses buildings were abandoned and they want somewhere to live. And Colonel must note your approach. You, as Member of Parliament, tried to get the situation regularized and have the individuals own the property. No, please note, Ronnie Thwaites, the Member of Parliament, never put the people there.
No.
And there is a fundamental problem here with what Mrs. Colbert said. And I'm making the connection to the example that Colonel cited.
Yeah,
that
true.
Is wrong, her utterances were wrong and rude, and I mean, I find the comment very distinct.
And then her husband defend it?
In those
but let me just say,
and a gentleman who succeeded,
Lord,
Mr. Charles,
see if you agree with me on this point.
Some Minister of Information, as he says he is, defending it again. How does that put anybody in a better position? Those who need it most.
Well, Ronnie.
Oh, chuck.
What's the opposite? Let's look at the opposite.
Come we work together and try and fix the thing. We have the resources, we have the need, we have the wherewithal, but we are squabbling among ourselves. How that go?
We must put the resource together and then identify, because I tell you, there are 3 landlords in the country that have more lands than anybody else. One called the government,
King Charles.
One called
Crown.
one called the churches.
Yes, agreed.
One called the parish councils.
Yes, sir.
The amount of lands they have. But guess what? A lot of people that are in the areas where Miss Sonis talk about, and I don't want to, create too much problem. Those people run away from downtown.
Sure.
Why? The owners of those buildings come in and say, listen, under law, you don't own it. You can't stay here.
So that way.
And you who wanted that big house on Central Kingston to be given to them, you couldn't get it.
No.
Because you couldn't pay the millions. And the government program of developing downtown not going to accommodate a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom.
But let me tell you,
so you have to find lands which are available.
Yes, which are available.
Outside.
Money which is available, because if you even said to Floyd to some of these, the huge amount of money, plenty of it coming from sources that will remain unnamed, to build up the high rise itself for $50 million for one studio or 1 bedroom, right? If you even were to use fiscal incentives to share a little bit of that with the big money that's in the housing trust, you realize how distress, how social disorder, and how crime in this country could be alleviated, how economic growth could be 4 in 5 or 5 in 4 could happen.
I don't know if I don't know if anybody has ever done this, but I believe that if the country, if the leaders of our country get together and say, look here, we have identified X amount of land under government, church, parish council, and other, and we are going to be able to say, you're going to carry people go to, what's the African country name?
Rwanda.
Rwanda.
No,
well, hold on. Let us join Jamanda one in Jamaica. Let us find land that people are not going to be able to pay no mortgage for.
Let us hear Senator Morris's summary.
No, I mean, I believe, Ronald, that there is need for an urgent response to the housing crisis in our country for the poorest of individuals within our society.
Yeah.
The housing trust provides a response for a particular category of Jamaicans, and we see where they have excess resources that could be shared in terms of assisting those who are living on the margin.
Investing.
And I think that with some of those resources, and support from the consolidated fund, we could find a way. We could find a way to deal with those who are at the base and give them a basic 1-bedroom unit and a bathroom and a kitchen, and give them a part there, and you could probably, if you want, we can accept a contribution dependent on their status, dependent on
bring them into the formal economy, gentlemen, because when you get that, you dep on tax roll, you stop thief light, water, yes. You have a dress, you're not address John Street again. You have an address where you can go to, live in Painland, you live in such and such a street. These are the things, you know what vexes me about this country and vexes me about myself, because my life is running out and I would have wanted to spend it more purposely. That we have the resources to do the better, and we're so satisfied and we so love to quarrel with each other that we can't do it.
Say it plain, Ronnie. The present political system that we operate does not accommodate much of what we are saying. It is not housing alone is the problem, right? Food is a problem. Education is a problem.
Coming to that.
Housing is a problem. And trust me, if you don't solve these, you are not going to create an a level
Wholesome
for the
society.
third and fifth and sixth generation coming.
Yeah.
When they come, they're not going to have no school to go, so they get a computer and they go on the tree fire out, or they can thief man money.
Floyd, do you think?
There's another thing that I want to point to you see,
Sure.
and I have people say me see a lot, but they don't know some of this.
People say Floyd see a lot.
And I travel throughout Jamaica,
Yes.
and it's amazing that we are seeing a lot of abandoned houses in rural Jamaica.
Sure.
Because people, some leave come to Kingston because things are bad. They don't go back to their community, some migrate,
Yes.
and they leave their house. I see it in Portland, I see it in St. Mary.
Me too.
All, right?
But Floyd, there's a
So
source.
what is he saying though, Fernand? Let's hear him and then you comment.
Something must be done in terms of rebuilding rural life.
True.
So individuals don't come to Kingston and just congregate in Kingston. So if we fix the roads in these rural communities, we could see individuals living in St. Mary, for example, and communities into Kingston because the roads are there as a means of transporting them efficiently into Kingston, right?
Yeah.
But all of these roads are so deplorable. It doesn't lend itself for and these are some of the things that we have to deal with so that we have an integrated approach.
But,
So,
Ronnie, there is no
You speak,
member
sir.
of parliament who get up to speak in this budget that can tell you that they don't have maybe 3/4 of the roads
Yes.
in their constituency
But-
want to be fixed.
But hear me now, Floyd.
Hold. And why? Climate change. And my son said to me, look out, you might hear
Yeah.
that there's no food
Yeah.
because of climate change,
Yeah.
or there's all rain
Yeah.
because
And
of climate
same
change.
thing, no food.
The point is this, things are going to, not getting better by itself. So we have to prepare ourselves.
But Senator Morris,
create an environment
I want to
which
put to
we
you
can
and
get
Pernell before we go. With regard to the roads,
Yeah.
you're perfectly right. But we have high chest regarding the road. Because everybody want every road, mine included, to be Baba Green. Yes? When our history after slavery into the 20th century was a good chip and spray, or a good mile road with a good base was enough for us. Yes?
Randy, don't point a finger at me, man. Don't point a finger at me. Because if my prime minister called me and said, stop this rock stone business, I don't want PNP call my government Brookstone government.
Brookstone government give you good
When
road cheaper than Baba Green.
Mr. Manley and Portia
Yeah.
traveled the island and march against me where thousands of women were breaking stone
They're wrong.
and the men were demonstrating, the men were spreading out the stone. And guess what? Even me, when I was a boy, get Christmas bread out and spread out chip and spray in our road.
Floyd.
On a runway out of it.
You have a comment?
let me say something, and I say that part of the problem that we are having with rural roads is one, the material that we're using to build the road, and two, roads are being built. I remember when I was growing up and coming from Port Maria to Bailey's Vale, there was a wonderful stretch of road that was there, and it lasted until the highway came in, and the highway is holding up for most of the part.
What it was made of?
It was made of the Baba Green, and it had a strong sub-base of...
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right? But it was
That is after them start about Baba Green put up a rock stone.
I asked somebody why the road is shaped that way, and they told me that it was called Campbell. It was Campbell, where
Sure, the water run off.
the road is hoisted in the middle, and the water
Run off on two sides. But it is one of the shames of our 60 years of independence that any reasonably observer can say that the foreign man, the British man, did build better roads than we build. What kind of foolishness is that?
And Ronnie, I am embarrassed.
Shame.
I'm embarrassed too. And somebody faced me yesterday and said, Mr. Charles, it looked like the foreign contractor them building the road better than we look at what happened to us. I feel bad about it.
Of course.
Because it looks that way.
Floyd, when
I would say that one of the biggest mistakes that we have made, in my opinion, is abandoning and dismantling the public work department.
Well, hear that now. Look at Purnell's situation. Before you came on, we were discussing Dr. Charles, his daughter, the member of parliament in St. Thomas, has to be calling for the subcontractors who are Jamaicans to be discharged, and who to be put in their place, the foreign man. You're not ashamed about that, sir?
It's a foreign man who give them the contract.
But how the foreign man can do better than we?
Ronnie, is me you're asking?
Yeah. So I'm putting the Jamaicans everywhere.
Look right in Kingston, Ronnie.
Yeah, same thing.
Half of the hole, them not in the hole now. We're covered over 3 months ago.
So what we do with that?
What? Black. With sand and black tar. Spray upon it. And it's good for 3 days.
Last word to you, Floyd.
Another thing that is needed is for a standardization of road construction. And I think this is where institutions like Bureau of Standards have a role to play to make sure that when contracts are granted, you sign off on the basic ingredients that are needed for the road, tests that are
proper
done,
standards.
That these things are being carried out, because I believe that the taxpayers of this country are being shortchanged.
Thank you for your words.
On the junction.
Yeah. No, that's the worst one. The junction.
Well,
that is the worst one. Listen, time on us and we have to go. You hear? I really want to thank Floyd Morris for his passion and for his advocacy. Keep up the good work. We're always available to you. Thanks for the insight today. The Honourable Floyd Morris, opposition spokesman on housing and a wide variety of things, and former president of the Senate, talking with Purnell and myself on the Public Eye on the Bridge and Irish Jam. We'll be back after the midday break. Thanks for being with us on the Public Eye. This is the Bridge 99 FM, broadcasting to the Jamaican diaspora all over the world and here in Jamaica. The Honourable Purnell Charles and myself are the hosts. Later on in this segment, Otis James, the founder and executor of James and Friends, joins us. They're an educational philanthropic institution, particularly in Clarendon. They deserve our attention and our support. Soon come on that, though. In the meanwhile, Trade Unionist Charles, I noted that yesterday the announcement was made that the Jamaica Civil Service Association has accepted the framework for salary renegotiation which the government has put forward. And the Joint Trade Union group are now canvassing other elements of the public service to see if they will agree also. I think that's very good. There are points that still remain to be negotiated, but the figure given is a minimum of 17.5% increment, which is very generous but very well deserved, having regard to what inflation has done to purchasing power in the last several years. But, Mr. Charles, help me. The one thing that is missing out of what has been told so far is that we are once again negotiating increases in pay without any reference to productivity.
Yeah, well, it is the management's responsibility to put productivity on the table. It's a union responsibility to put production costs. Before. What is missing is that the management come to defend what the worker is asking for rather than put forward something to balance it. So I'm going to give you 17.5%, but my production is at 40 and I need to put it up to 50. How are we going to do it? And then you divide the money according to how you're going to do it.
Let me tell you something. The Jamaican people, the Jamaican taxpayer, needing all of the roads, all of the houses that we were just talking about, the healthcare, the education, all the public services, yes, is now going to be paying more for the public service without any assurance that they will be getting better value.
Ronnie,
contrast this, excuse me, sir, so you can reply. I went to the annual Grace Kennedy lecture last Thursday. Grace Kennedy Company, all our listeners know who that is.
Yes.
And the former managing director or chief executive, Douglas O'Rain, spoke about doubling worker productivity in that country, in that company, over 4 years. Contrast that, Mr. Charles, with our 60 years of independence history, when we have had declining total factor productivity, not just labor, declining total factor productivity, at least 1% every year for our independence. And then some people, all of us, desire, and some people declare prosperity. How can you have more prosperity when you're spending more to get less?
Well, I said something to you the other day.
Yeah.
I leave my house at 5:30 in the morning for an hour and a half on the tennis court.
Good.
If I leave at 6, I have a problem with getting there.
Mm-hmm.
By 8 o'clock, 8:30, the roads are bumper to bumper.
Sure.
What time do those people get to work?
Well,
let's just hold that.
Sure.
Let's hold that.
Sure.
If you're on the road at 4 o'clock, 4:30, it's bumper to bumper going back home. How much time, including lunch break, is put into that workforce?
Sure.
And nobody has come up yet, because this has been suggested. We are not knowing what has not happened in the past. Nobody has come up and said, listen, you should come to work at 6 o'clock and leave at 3. Or you should come to work at 8 or 9 and leave at 7.
One thing I'm going to disagree with you. I thought we had legislated and mandated flexible
we had
work.
done a lot of things. Tell me one company
that's doing it,
that has divided its workforce into 2 and saying, while some are going out, some are coming in. Everybody said, "Boss, me no want you want to come. I've got to pick up my picnic at 4:30. So whatever you do, I need between 4:30, between 4 and 5 to go and pick up my child." You understand? We can't manage the thing in a way how it's going to work. So it takes you 2 hours or 2.5 hours to get to work. It takes you 2 hours or 2.5 hours to go back home.
And
that's 5 hours.
And the net effect is...
And you have to get home before 7.
Sure.
So take 5 hours from 6 in the morning to what's the production time?
Very little. You're down to 6 hours or something. If you are zealous.
Excuse me. That is why some of our young entrepreneurs are happier with working at home because they can catch you from 7 to 4 to 4:30. You understand?
Okay.
And they get more production.
That's a byproduct of the pandemic.
Working from home.
Sure.
But it's not everything can be produced from home.
So why don't we, in the midst of this negotiation for better wages, nobody's against that. Everybody's is for it. It's going to cost the public more, but that's justifiable if people need that extra to live because they can't buy what they used to get. No. But why don't we have a national campaign for productivity? Why don't we hear, whether it is government or opposition, instead of throwing word at each other, why don't we talk about how we're going to increase the productivity of the nation, instead of making it seem...
Because you don't get vote for that. You don't get vote to ask, why don't we say a man have to work and produce more?
Well, if you don't...
You get vote when you said the man have worked too hard, give him some more time off.
But
that's how that is the state of the country.
I admire your clarity. Because, but then it's no use talking about prosperity, because you can't get prosperity with unless one, you thief, or you produce more.
So you say that some will get prosperity, some won't get nothing.
Nothing, because
not in Dexter.
Not Dexter.
I don't even know what it means. But some don't get no territory.
No, and therefore, yeah, I love that. And therefore, what happens is the society becomes more polarized, and we continue the delusion The delusion expressed every night on television that really is the other man's fault and I'm the one doing the right thing.
Yeah, but we'll get to something else.
Folly.
Because as long as some people are making some money and living a little better, the rest, which may be the majority, are going to be asking why and how. Why can't I get?
But if the pie is not growing,
I'm not talking about working to get it.
But okay, that's a big part of the problem. Yes, but if in fact the pie is not getting bigger, yes, how can everybody share more?
But Ronnie,
it cannot.
You don't have to ask.
No.
The pie is
mathematics.
The
arithmetic.
Pie can only get bigger if you okay. So the government can boast. And I'm serious.
Yeah.
Maybe the past 3 budget year. Headline is
no
more taxes.
Sure.
No more taxes and wages and things. But when you go to the supermarket, the half basket now become quarter. The full basket become. So even from taxes and food and things, you're not getting it. Where is the money going to come? You can't borrow it.
No.
So we're heading in a direction where you and I will sit here and understand why it is hard on your Minister of Education.
But then you see, we always
to teach the teachers and to get children go to school.
What we do on this program always is to point out some of the difficulties that we have, self-imposed and otherwise. But we always try to come up with a suggestion.
Yes.
Yes. And this suggestion I have is that the attention of the nation has to be turned towards productivity. And that is something that cannot be done just by one little ad on the media. It has to be done as a consistent ethic of life, that you work, the way to provide for yourself, the way to exercise your responsibility for others is to be more productive in whatever you do. And when I hear Grace Kennedy is able to double their productivity in 4 years, I ask myself the question, if Grace with Jamaican workers, same people like you and me and everybody else, if they can do it, why can't we?
I tell you why. Grace Kennedy and other like Grace Kennedy offers leadership and management in their company.
Look how much money we spend providing for leadership.
Honey, listen.
Look how much outrider.
You think you can tell Grace Kennedy, say, listen, Grace Kennedy work starts at 8:30.
Yeah, you can't tell them you come.
You can tell them, say, boss, me can't come till 10, you know.
No.
Or me not come today, you know.
Yeah.
Or me go racing today, you know.
Yeah.
Or me if I go at 4 o'clock up my pin. You think them can tell them that?
No, and the other
you're expected to be at work at 8. So if you get up at 3, do your thing and leave at 6 to come to work, you're expected to be there.
And
if you're not there, you have to find other work.
And there's another side to it too. If you double your productivity, they will give you incentive.
Increase
remuneration.
Exactly.
Yeah. So therefore, we have the answer, Mr. Charles. Why don't we implement the answer when it is the problem is staring us in the face?
Well,
yes?
I heard a man.
What a disappointment that Mr. Lee Chin should be inducted in the PSOJ, what they call it, Hall of Fame. Yes, very, very well deserved, I'm sure. I don't know much about him. Yes, but this is a man who took responsibility for 5 and 4, an utter failure.
Yes.
But
you think him fail?
No, him personally don't fail. We fail, but he was a leadership.
Yeah, but hold on.
He and Nigel Clark.
Look at his business.
Yeah.
You think his business failed?
No, but hello, the reason why we put him in charge of the 5 and 4
was to see if he can help us to
was because he had done so well in the business.
And to see if we can help us to achieve it.
So of course, so why not?
Well, hold on, let me tell you why not.
All right. God boy.
Because, Ronnie, again I'm saying to you, we do not have the management in the various business. I go up to Constant Spring and 100 people sit out there and all the ladies, I mean, believe me, I stand up and watch them and congratulate them.
Yeah,
As one person move, people move, people move, people move.
Yeah.
And they are working.
Yes, sir.
They're collecting money too,
Yes, sir.
Right? Get out of that and get into the belly of government and tell me how it's going.
So why do we put up with it, especially those of us who trumpet ourselves as being the best ones to be able to bring in the New Jerusalem?
Because the New Jerusalem coming in a competitive way.
Well, no, but you say, but
Mr. Ronnie, the competition is between PNP and JLP,
So,
and if you make it hard for me now, vote for you.
So that,
and therefore,
but what is the point? Hello, sir. But what is the point of being in charge if you can't achieve what the country needs? What is the point? One of the reasons why due to many reasons, but one of the reasons why I decided I didn't want to return to representation of politics after the time I've done is because just as the late great Ralph Brown told me when he was giving up, he says, I don't feel I can achieve what the people need me to achieve. And it is a truth. The system is holding us back. Your daughter is feeling the same thing. Your son, who is a minister, look at what, with the best intention, and he must have been working out his sole case. And now what we find is that the head of the Agricultural Society this morning on the radio has to tell us the truth, that vegetables are going to be scarce and the price is high, probably going into Christmas. No, it's
but that's natural reasons.
No, sir. No, believe me, I understand the natural reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, but those natural reasons are entirely predictable. And had we produced and had we stored what could be produced when the rain wasn't falling or the drought wasn't upon us, we wouldn't have that predicament now.
It's easy, man.
But he can't do that.
But he man just ball out in every room say, easy to talk, Ronnie.
Easy, you
can talk.
No, but having said that, we have the same problem. So we have to go deal with it same way.
In other words, there is a way.
There is a way.
And
bring back the Agriculture and Marketing Corporation, as ministers of both sides have said they would do for the last 10, 15 years. And
then they can buy and
produce,
store.
buy and put out. So when the rains lick us 2-3 months ago, yes, and kill out the tomato and trouble the sorrel, etc., all the things, you turn to that and you don't disappoint people and dig into
and the price don't go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles.
But it looked like you should go back in government.
No, sir. I've been there.
No, but you know, a man just ball out saying, "I'm not talking, but they don't never say it." The truth is this. No. The truth is this, that some of us have said it, Ronnie.
Yes, sir.
Some of us have said it, but
Try.
Yes, the mouth will talk out, the ears don't hear, and the mouth don't shout hard enough. Yeah. And if it shout hard, then shout it out.
And the truth is that you say this often, that if one so and so say it, who in charge going to find a way to say why I on the other side shouldn't be listened to. Yeah. I am dying. I don't have any particular wisdom, yes, but I have a little experience, and I have goodwill, I hope. Yeah. I am dying to help the Minister of Education at present, who is in a very difficult position, but she won't have me. Not because she's a bad person. She's a good person, I believe, but because the system does not allow any kind of combination. What is that?
Yeah, but can we set...
I don't want her job, you know.
But can we set a time? Can we set a time?
Yeah.
On this program,
yeah,
where we can talk about looking at the system.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, as long as the system is competitive as it is, for leadership, you are not going to be able to get the cooperation of the other side that make you stay in power.
Yeah. Well, I don't want the power. What I want is the ability to help. That is what I'm going to be judged for at the end.
You're in a position now. You're in a position now to say, listen, I'm not going to make the power bother me. I want the production.
Yes.
But let me tell you something.
What else is worthwhile?
What else is worthwhile? There was a time when you may not have said it that way.
If you throw kiss in the dark, it don't help you.
Eh?
If you blow kiss in the dark, it don't help you with a girlfriend. We take a break on the public eye. When we come back, Otis James of James and Friends joins us. Soon come back. Stay with us on the Bridge 99. Canvassing the issues of the day Never flinching from the reality on the ground. That's what we do on the public eye on the Bridge 99 FM, the Honorable Pernell Charles and myself. Welcoming Otis James of James and Friends from Clarendon. Otis, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Good.
Master Otis, I don't know. How come I don't know you personally?
Sir, come on. Just love keep a low profile.
You're a Maypen man?
Me talk a few times already.
We talk already?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 times.
Fantastic program here, man.
Man, tell us about your work. Tell our listeners, Otis James, what led you to take up the task of education?
Being honest, sir, this foundation been around over 18 years now. And I started the foundation with about three persons, 2 little boys and a little girl, and then it reached over 250 persons get benefit to the program every day. Over 30 of them for university, and the foundation been sponsoring them. We not just sponsor them like a one-off, we sponsor them every single day to go to school. Especially in high school, every single day. So there is no reason for a person to say, listen, I can't go to school today because I don't have any money to go. And the foundation don't leave the funds with the parents. The foundation leave the fund at the school. So you know that every day you go to school, you sign a scholarship form, and you get that funds, and you go to school. So if you don't reach a school, you can't get no money. So sometimes you give the parents the funds and use it to do all different
get
stuff.
Mixed up.
And get to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So the foundation been around over 18 years. And trust me, we're doing really fine. Over 90 years, sponsor business people around being a part of the foundation.
Well, I'm going to ask you, what led you to do this? What was the feeling that you had, or the experience that you had, that made you want to spend your time doing this? This is not you have another profession.
Yes, sir.
What is your profession?
I'm a certified plumber.
Yes. Okay.
I really want to be a maths teacher, and because the finance and the funds never really reached me to help me in school, so I grew up in the market. I don't really know my father. My mother died over 18 years ago. I used to like push and cart in the market, sleep in the market, and send myself to school. And most evening we don't know what food like to get like a nice meal, because my mother tried, she tried. And there is time when my neighbor used to cook like rice and peas and chicken. We used to cry, wonder when I want to know what chicken leg feel. I've been a vegetarian over 20 years because meat used to give me a hard challenge growing up. I used to wonder when I'm going to hold a leg in my plate. And I tell myself that, listen, as long as I have ambition, it's not the little boardhouse where we grew up in. You understand? I want to be someone in life, and I want to work the horse and do it. I push that anchor in the Maypen market with pride, power, and energy. And I saved my little fund and sent myself to Portmore Art School and graduate as a certified plumber, work at Maypen Hospital, work with the Parish Council. Then I branched out in my plumbing thing off on my own. And then I started the foundation with about 3 persons. Then it reached over 200 persons get benefits. And it's been 18 years now. The foundation has been around.
How do you manage to collect the amount of money that is needed to do that? Who gives you help?
Now, I get help from most of the business people in Maypen. And I have like I might have about 4 pharmacies, I have doctors, I've got lawyer, I've got principal, can't count it. I even have a few Higgler being a sponsor of the foundation.
A few Higgler being sponsored your foundation to make sure Pitney can go to school.
Yeah. We have about 2 or 3 Higgler on the street. I have one big sister and I have another person. And then put funds together and say, listen, I want a little girl, and then sponsor a little girl. One of them sponsor a little boy. I even have Max Leiber, Mr. Leiber.
Yes.
Mr. Leiber's son.
Yes, I know him.
He get 10th grade one. That little boy saving funds as well, and send people go to school.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
Yeah.
Let me ask a quick one. What relationship do you have with those children who are benefiting from your thing? Do you meet them? Do you have a chance to talk to them? Do you have a chance to encourage them? you have the chance to get to the parents. How do you keep this thing alive and encouraging with you?
James, if you have a radio or television, turn it down for me now because it causing the squeaking on the reception here.
I really no, I don't have a radio.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. You're answering Mr. Charles.
All right. How I do, I keep meeting like every 2 months or every term. I keep meeting with everyone I pick me come together, and I have like directors come on board. I have directors like George Clew, Robert Burt Green, Dr. Clement Williams, I have Dr. Bradley Edwards at Napen Hospital.
Yes.
I have Mrs. Manning and Mrs. Roy. So, and Michael McLaren. So I have board meetings. So when I meet with the students, them we have it at Napen Primary, and we come together and we talk. We talk about the vision, our school, what's the problem of the school, and if they have serious problem at home, we have one and two person being a counselor. We have guidance counselor, few school being a part of it where we organize at the end and counsel them and talk with them. Any finance, we see best we can help with them. We have some person have house problem. Some of them don't have a bed to sleep, and some of them don't have shoes. So I have project where we come together and get shoes for them to go to school and stuff like that. So we have meeting, and now we have CXC time coming up where I normally keep like a charity match. Even Mr. Twist play midfield, Michael play forward at that charity match.
One time Mike Henry and I playing this charity match, you know.
Yes.
And the two of we dropped down.
Oh, yes?
Years ago.
They didn't drop down.
I trip and my kind of slip too.
So you mean fall?
Football, fall.
Because when you tell man to drop down,
yes,
drop down a bad word,
thing, yes.
You mean you get
fall.
Sick. You fell. Fell when you were running.
Yes, but we had a good match. And James bring us together.
Mr. James, let me say this to you. What you have demonstrated
listen to this.
and what you are explaining today should stimulate a number of us around the country. Because if you can do this for children, get them together, get the parents together and talk to them, and you are no big official, right? If we get a few of our people on the ground who know them, you not only will know who is in the gang, keep them out the gang, get them in school. I want to personally congratulate you. And I said, I'm sorry that I didn't know you good enough when I was in a position to contribute.
Listen to me. He would have it's time enough. Others can. But this man send people to go college and university, you know, sir. Yes,
but the man take away for work.
Man take away for work. Yes, but no. But and I don't. He doesn't come here for us to big him up.
No, but we need to.
But it's a spirit. It's a spirit and the zeal and the trust. Because people the people who are his beneficiaries, the people in the pharmacy, the professionals, the shopkeepers, the higgler, yes, them know that him not thief them money. Yes, he knows them to waste some money and give to the school, so make sure they pick come to school and get the food and get the book and get the shoes where need.
Well, Mr. James, let me say this to you. I want to make
path program no efficient like him, you know.
I want to make an appeal to my brother Jamaicans right around the country
and
that we can have more James Otis like this.
James, how we get in touch with you? Because people listen to us from abroad, you know. We want to make sure them know they can we trust you and that they can trust you and they can send something for you when them can manage.
You know that the foundation in Napen, Clyde, and we're on Facebook, and the phone number normally they can be a part like 404-1809.
404 what?
1809.
1809. James and Friends.
Yeah, James and Friends.
876-404-1809.
Yeah, 404-1809.
How you see? Go ahead.
And Mr. Pernell, may I talk about 2-3 times already? In later, like a tiger man. May I talk already?
Tell me now. The 5 years time, 10 years time, how you see the thing go? What is the need? Is the need for the kind of assistance? Is it increasing or people coping better? How you read it?
It increased and even tougher now because based on Corona the other day, we have a few sponsors even lose sponsorship because
Right.
the business place gets slow, things not work out anymore. Then just a come and chat
Mm-hmm.
and have a lot of person have a get the opportunity to go back to school. And even Corona, the foundation donate over 200 tablets to different people to read to school. And now CXC time coming now, where normally every year the foundation covers something like $3 million, $2.8 million for CXC for students in Clarendon who can't afford it. Most of them mother will sell it on the street, them have to run when they see police and come. Can't really earn no funds to pay for CXC and all this stuff. So I always have a program where I help one person in this time in CXC. And Mr. Thwaites even opened a door at the ministry from a couple of years ago. And I want to think why I have a respect for Mr. Thwaites. And sometimes a person would feel like this is politics. But respect different from politics because I remember I have 3 persons at U doing exam. And exam will be like Thursday. And Mr. Thwaites have the last day in the ministry. And in the election going to run like tomorrow. And I called Mr. Thwaites and said, Mr. Thwaites, the person can't do exam. Mr. Thwaites said, James, I'm busy putting things together for a campaign. And by like a half an hour, Mr. Thwaites called back and said, give me the person name. And when Mr. Thwaites get the name, we push it through the ministry and talk with them and organize everything with the school. And the person get to do the exam. And by 2 days after, Mr. Thwaites not in the ministry anymore. You understand?
No,
so when we look into it, I say, this is not about politics, it's about respect. Because Mr. Thwaites know that my division and my current control my division.
No,
you understand?
Yeah, but that's not it.
No in myself that. No in myself personal. 99% the person when I go African city and a my current and Mr. Thwaites never really think about the politics at that time.
James, you're making me blush, and because Mr. Reid after me did try to do the same thing too, but unfortunately the thing, Colonel, that we need some help with is because James tells me that the ministry's capacity to assist students who need to take the CXC exam, the fees have to be paid now, very shortly. The program that used to exist where needy, able students could get help is not.
They still pay for 3 subjects?
No, not in the same way, not to the same extent, and that's a problem. So I'm really appealing that those who can help James, James's young people, 876-404-1809. If you can do anything, we're appealing to our friends in the diaspora as well as those locally. See what you can do to help, because the money will be well spent.
Mr. James, let me tell you, I want to say thanks to the bridge because I have never had the understanding. You say we met before, we spoke before, but that continuous step on that bridge wasn't there, and I want to make an appeal to other people around Jamaica because you don't look like you're a big man in any big company. No, so you don't have to be a big official to help your brothers and sisters go to exam or pay a little thing. And trust me, I'm going to get your number and give you a call because I can do what I should have done some time ago.
James, listen, I'm sorry I can't come play more football with you down there. You see, I was sending one of my son or something like that. but we have to back you up in every way possible. Thanks very much. Keep us in touch with you and let us know from time to time how things are going. You hear?
Yes, things going on well on here, man. And the program going on really great. I get a lot of 1 to 6E.
Keep it going. Look at that, 1 at 6E.
So it's really, really good. Over 250 persons go to school every day through the foundation. It's really, really good.
Very good.
And this will be in 18 years, so I have to give that thanks for everything over the years.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Say it before we go.
And yes, one of the things when you know that the ministry will cover CXC with person who do like our average in the school, where they get certain marks where they can provide. Right. You know the bank will cover 1 or 2, but when next thing we have to understand that you know that you have parents who can't afford to send their kids to school every day. Yeah. Based on the corona, based on the selling on the street, that person can't get the marks to get that free subject.
True.
And if that person get the opportunity to sit the subject, these persons do great because over the years, It's a place get the minister to help with these persons who don't have the marks, don't get the free subject. And ever see the amount of ones come out of this, some of them turn teachers, police, soldier, some of them are study right now and because of the CXC help to the ministry, and they never get that marks at school. You understand? But then get the opportunity to stick at that CXC. And today, we have more 100% life have been changed. You understand?
That's great. Thanks, James. All the best to you. Look forward to hearing from you again. Otis James, founder and instigator of James and Friends in Maypen. Telephone number 876-404-1809. He's on Facebook too, James and Friends. You know why I encourage this is because it's just as you said, Pernell. It is we have so much capacity to do better than we do.
I have something to say to you, which is religious.
Yeah.
Here is a young man.
Yeah.
Whose father disappeared.
Yeah.
When he was 2 months old.
2 months old. Look at that.
Here's a young man who used to live in the market.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten up vexed.
No.
He got up with a spirit that you seem to have in you, according to the thing around your neck. Right? But put away the joke. The fact is this. He could have gotten up so vexed.
Sure.
That him looking for kill.
Yeah.
He turned to say to others like himself, there is a way to get to your CXC, to get to pass, and to come out.
But look at another thing too.
Yeah.
He's a push handcart. Don't think that is less than him.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
what him do? Him save the handcart money, go to Hart, which is a good institution, and get himself certified as a plumber. So at least him have a bread for himself, right? While he can now see the generosity that he can exhibit to 250 students on a daily basis.
Let me say this to you. There are some good things in this country, you know.
Right.
We don't talk about them.
No,
you know.
but that's what
we like to public.
Yeah.
Why don't see this on TV?
No.
I say who murder who, who chop up who, who is this and that.
Sure.
Oh, I think one of the station carry a thing afterward.
Ray of Hope. Ray of Hope, they call it.
What do you call it?
Ray of Hope. Yeah.
Now this is more than a ray of hope.
Man.
But this is what we need more of the station.
Sure, this is what I promised the bridge we would do.
And I'm saying to the bridge, congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Because some of these exposure myself I didn't know.
No, and
I hope that we are inspiring people around the country to come on board. Right? Cross over the bridge.
No, we have a problem. 20% of our children aren't able to go to school every day. Now, if indeed we had 100 people like James who just were able to help and pull together and put one banana here with $2 there and whatever it is, and he follows the children. I happen to know that. Yes. He works with people like Mrs. Jalala at Denby High, Dr. Smalling at Glenmuir, and many others. I tell you of the assistance he gets from an excellent person, Costa Shaguri of Clarendon. But if he just pulls together, yes, then you're lifting the community. You're when Dr. Chang and Mr. Holness ask what are the alternatives, when the police commissioner, who I expect better, and the army people speak about, Mrs. Fort speak about taking away people's rights. You don't have to take away people's rights when you do this for them, when you do this not only for them, with them.
Well, I won't follow you on that road.
No.
I take the opposite. Here's my opposite.
Yeah.
Today, I want to send a message out that what the bridge has done for me today is expose me to a James that I can say to John, Tom, Mr. Clark, Miss Brown, all around the country. Here is a man who should be vexed with the system, vexed with society. And what has he done? He has turned around to help others to drop the handcart, come off the market bench, take a CXC, become lawyers, doctors, teachers, mechanics, machinists. Congratulations.
I agree.
And he has a good word for you, Ronnie.
Well,
I wish that some people have some good word for me. I am man, say Mr. Charles. I'm man just bottle Charles.
You have done so much for so many people in so many places. No, you're bad. Why you think? I want to pick up on your theme for the last couple of minutes we have. There's a lot that is good going on in Jamaica. We mentioned this. I also wanted to bring to your attention Dr. Ernest Madu of the Heart Institute of Jamaica.
Yes.
A Jamaican by now, Nigerian of origin.
Yes,
a very
I happen to know him.
experienced cardiologist.
Yes.
Yes. He has organized the Nigerian medical doctors from otherwise in America and elsewhere, doctors of Nigerian origin, and they are going to be offering considerable free service to people with heart problems in Jamaica. Yes. They don't have to do that, sir.
No.
They're doing this out of their sense of professionalism and their sense of generosity. Okay? When I hear that Dr. Tufton has been able to go to Cuba and is going to be able to restore the eye surgery arrangement, I'm sure that there's some financial arrangements there. But even so, the fact that a nation which has its own problems can in fact reach out in partnership with our government and provide a service which is so difficult to get any other place. These are good signs, man.
Well, let me say this along the same line. There are some Jamaicans who are doing it.
Yes.
There are more James than we think.
I hope so.
But there can be many, many more.
Right.
Right? And I hope that this program today can allow somebody to say, look here, I could do something.
Sure.
Because Senton, Trelawney, Westmoreland, we have some people up there. If they were inspired, they would do something.
Sure.
Because I say, Ronnie, and you have been saying it, once you give them education, you have satisfied half of the way forward. You just have to guide them how they use it in a proper way to their development for themselves and their families.
No. Having said all of that, and we're going to make it a feature of the public eye that we isolate and remember and encourage and promote those things that are going well. I have just another pain in my heart I have to share with you as we end this program. In the United States, I read in the New York Times earlier this week that they have now found out the disastrous reduction in the levels of literacy and numeracy among school children as a result of the COVID absence.
Yes.
Despite all of the technology and the tablet and that they had. No, sir. I beg of us in Jamaica, I really beg of us, if America with a more well-endowed and sophisticated education system has had that experience now verified, yes? Please accept that we in Jamaica are having the same thing, but we are not responding sufficiently clearly. We're still trying to think that we have lost 2 years of education. It's going to come and haunt us down the line. For goodness sake, could we come together? You speak of things that need to be beyond partisan conflict. Could we come together and recognize that it needs a national effort to ensure that all our children pick up on the reading, the literacy and the numeracy, which they have been bereft of for the last 2 years? What do you think?
I don't want to say anything on that for fear that I say anything to detract from the facts here.
Yeah.
But I want to close my side by saying we have not said congratulations to a different type of prime minister in Britain.
Now listen to that.
And his presentation was frightening, well organized, well mature. And for the first time you have a non-white British who happen to be from the Indian origin. And I listened to him in Parliament today when they confronted him with questions. And the parliamentarians had to sit back and laugh. The boy sound good.
But hear me now. It is the irony of empire, that empire which sent Britain, allowed British people to come to India and to places like Jamaica and rule and argue that we couldn't being
Rule
part of
ourselves.
no, we couldn't. No, what has happened?
We're ruling
is
ourselves
somebody,
and gone to
somebody
England.
come now from the parts, yes, and come into England, and they make him the viceroy of,
Hold on,
of England.
somebody just called me from the house and said, Ronnie, please, don't bring in the bad part. Let us live with it, because
No, that's not bad.
It is also good, Ronnie.
Yes, it is.
Because remember, British parliamentarians have accepted it.
Yes.
British parliamentarians have elected
Yes.
it,
Uh-huh.
and therefore we are on a good path.
But hear me now, sir. Some people in England, we're not. Some people in England are saying, but England is 85% white. So how can we have a non-white person ruling over us? So anybody who said that, so what happened now? We all around the world should have been saying all along, we are 90% and 95% black, Indian, Asian, whatever. How come we have somebody from England ruling us?
Hold on a minute. A man is asking me when you say we, let me just let you know, sir, Ronnie is one of us, solidly one of us. Not only himself, but family and everybody. So please don't come with the foolishness.
The world turns, Mr. Charles. Thank you so much for the amusement and the wisdom.
Let's say congratulations.
Congratulations on Richard Sunak and the British
quickly,
people.
for 10 seconds. The Clovis.
Yes.
Let's talk about it
Yeah.
next time, because trust me, we don't know the damage that it has done to our children and our business going forward. We have to do something about it.
We have an agenda. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. What a great honor it is for us to have this program every week. We hope we have enlightened you, entertained you, and we look forward to joining you. Live Spare, God willing.